this how we move like this. Watch this how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch this how we move like this. Watch this how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch this how we move like this. Watch this how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. Watch this how we move like this. Watch this how we move. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da. We gon' move like this, like this, like this. Yeah, we gon' move like this, like this. Oh, yeah. Da, 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 da.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our Essence series. It's great to have everyone join us today for a conversation on balancing career, family, and purpose. So, one of the things I enjoy most about this series is that we get to see the people behind the science, right? So, over the past episodes, we've talked about research, career journeys, challenges, and mentorships. Today, we are focusing on something many of us think about every day. So, how we balance our professional ambitions with the people and the priorities that matter most outside of work. So, let's get started. So before we start asking questions to our investigators, I'd like to ask you to give us a brief introduction because many of our viewers maybe join us for the first time. So I'll go first. I'm Ting Yuzhou, an early stage investigator at Mayo in Dr. Dina's lab, and my research focus on the cancer precision communication and health equity research. And I'm also a mother of two, 9 and 12, two girls. And I will turn this to Dr. Bojako.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I am Okpebola Joko. Boys and one girl.
So Dr. Bona.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Timothy Bonner again, early stage investigator in Dr. Odena's lab. I am a mother of one. It feels like two, but it's surely one. And my research interest is more so survivorship / healthcare management and the incorporation of ethical AI into the healthcare space.
Dr. Liche? Oh, you're muted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see that. My name is Ujua Liche, and I'm also an ESI early stage investigator. I am also a mom, so 3 kids. Like she said, it feels like 6. Yeah, one. So mine feels like 6 because my boys are twins, so they say double trouble. So yeah, it was yeah. So also I am into preventive health. I look at preventive health behaviors with a technology component to it, and how to also bridge gaps between those who have access and those who cannot access.
Mm-hmm.
So more like equity than equality.
Thank you all. Thank you for the brief introduction. Yeah, so like we are also in the mother team. And yeah, we look forward to our conversation today. So, first of all, let's have something fun. So, for example, us as investigators, we've all spent years learning how to describe our research to different audiences. But family members, I believe they can be our toughest audience, even though they're close to our lives. So the question is, what's the funniest reaction a family member or friend has had when you try to explain your research to them? Feel free to jump in.
I can tell what my son told me when I explained my research. Research, in very lay language to him, and he was like, "You spent all that years just learning this, like."
Oh, it's hurtful. Just
Really? You spent almost 4 or 5 years just learning how to. I'm like,
okay. She needs to learn more about you on research.
Not like you're an expert.
it just sounded so easy to him. I'm like, it's not as you think. He said, I can literally look that up, Mom. You mean you spent all these years just trying to do this, learn this? Anybody, So, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. It happens to everyone here. So let's see what Dr. Jaka want to say.
I don't even know that I even try to explain anymore to my family.
Separate totally.
Because it's hard to explain that you have a research career. Like most of my time is spent like reading and writing, like versus what other people consider would be doing. So I think I've stopped trying to explain that to people. Most of the time they're like, "Are you working today?" I work every day. Like, what is it that you think I do? Yes. So I think it is more so convincing them that like I'm actually doing something like all day, every day.
Okay. That's also an how to say explanation to them. You're just working. Yeah. How about Dr. Joko?
Yes, my experience is similar to Dr. Bonner's. It really took them, like my two boys, they are the oldest. It took them time to really understand what I call the job that I do, because what they can just see is that I'm always in front of a computer. And he said, just stop making noise. I'm trying to do something. Say, but you're just on a computer. I say, yes, I'm doing that. Then I recall when my babies when they were still very small, I was on my PhD. I just simply tell them, you see, my teacher will beat me if I did not go. Yes, my teacher will beat you. I said, yes. My teacher said I should finish this. So please, this is an assignment from my teacher, and she's in Nigeria, I will call teachers auntie, that my auntie said I should finish this. So that is what I'm doing.
That's too funny.
And why people need to live long and survive cancer. But something very funny happened yesterday. That's with my little girl. I wanted to go out and I could not leave her at home. I told her, I'm going to American Legion Post and you will follow me. He said, no. I said, no, you can't stay home. Then she said, anyway, when you leave the post, I hope you don't have any letters to post. When you leave the post, what are we going to do when you post your letter? I said, no, I'm not going to post letter.
Because not the post office.
Yeah, it's hard to understand changing office.
No, it's not a post office. That's when veterans that have worked in the army, you call where they gather is a community. I had to take time to really explain what American Legion Post is, that it's not a post office.
That is too funny.
Yeah. But do you know that my son now wants to be a researcher?
Oh, which area?
The same one who said it sounded easy, because I tried to explain it to make it easy. Now he thinks he wants to be a researcher, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay. he will learn more things after you.
Mhm. We'll see. We'll see just how easy it is. We'll see just how easy it is.
Right.
Okay, and so yeah, because our working format is very flexible. Sometimes we work hybrid, so usually we will bring some work habits home sometimes. So the next question is, what would your family say is your most annoying work habit? So I will come first. They always complain me sitting in front of the screen, no exercise. Yeah, you will be fat. They say very cruelly. So yeah, that's the annoying habit to them, sitting too long. How about yours?
Yeah, the annoying habits I know, and it's a real burden, is that since I operate an open space as an office, so if I mean, during like, shh, I'm in a meeting. I don't want it to be like, oh God. Then they go back into the room, and then things now they can come and so then you just shh. I know I'm
Yes.
really disturbing them with my open space office,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's really affecting them.
yeah. I can feel that it's very pressure for them. Yeah.
I think when you are a researcher, especially when you are like trying to get your career off the ground, it's not, we don't have a 9 to 5 day. Like nobody in research has a just not, you can shut their computer down. Like we are constantly, okay, we'll take a break, do something for our family, come right back, take a break, go do something else and come right back. Like that is, it's just an all day thing. And I think that's probably the most annoying thing to my son about me. You still working? You got another meeting? Like, yeah, I'm an adult. I gotta work. I'm sorry. So that's probably the most annoying thing to him, is that it's just nothing is set when you are a researcher. Like it is, we do a lot of global work. So, we may be having conversations at 8 o'clock at night our time. And I got a little one looking at me like, hey lady, now it's time. It is time. So that's what I would say is probably the most annoying, my annoying work habit to him.
Okay. Yeah. How about Dr. Lychee?
Mm, yeah, maybe the unavailability that you're not always, and they keep saying, Mom, are you busy? And I'm like, not too busy for you, but just give me, the sign language. I know how to use the sign, like 30 minutes, 2 minutes and all that. And then my son one time, because he's the one who's very outspoken of the three, was like, maybe mom, we should all also start making appointments, right? And add to your calendar so you have time to, yeah. So I'm like, okay. Like, it sounded funny, but I also had to, okay, give me in between those breaks. I just try to talk with them, but kids, they want you when they want you. So they don't always understand. So we do a lot of sign language in the house.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
3 minutes, 1 minute. Or mom, where is your calendar? Let me put my name. You know.
And my son now, he knows that we utilize Zoom and we utilize Teams. So he's like, can I have a Zoom meeting? Can I have a Zoom meeting too? Can I put it? Can I call? I'm like, dude, if you don't get out of this office.
That's
So
so
yes,
funny.
it's starting to rub off on him now.
Wow,
Yeah,
so
I'd like to
interesting.
speak to that. I know sometimes, like Dr. Bonner was saying, you cannot not be an 8 to 4 or 9 to 5. Someone just comes in and like, okay, hey, can we quickly go to? I said, go where? I am not.
No.
They said, but it is 7. I said, yeah, I want to quickly fit. Oh, no, 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 no. You didn't tell me that. I didn't put you on my schedule. I cannot go with you. I said,
I
but
cannot do that today.
are you done? When are you done during the day? I'm like, no, I'm not done for the day. I said, at this time, sometimes they cannot really understand why, it is just literal. Even when we finish the 8 hours, the old time, you still need to quickly send something before morning. You want Dr. Bonner to get it, or you want somebody in Nigeria to get it before morning. And like, so are we going to be able to go? I said, I don't know. Okay, can we do it tomorrow? So it's always a big deal because
Yeah.
I not really figure out what time I close.
And we just don't have set schedules. Like I think with a lot of other careers, people can say, at a particular time I can stop or I can shut the computer down. We are always thinking about, what's the next thing we're going to be writing? What is the next grant? I need to send this email. I need to reach out to this person. Like we're always constantly thinking of, we got 3 balls in the air and we're always thinking about, how we're juggling those balls. And it's hard to shut that off at any point in your career, but it's really hard to do it and explain that, that's a part of the job when you got a little one tugging on you, asking for your attention. So
That makes sense totally. Yeah. So with that, I think when we are balancing the work, family, sometimes we honestly, for me, I feel, especially the kids when they are young, I feel they have some demanding requests. So I feel tired. But sometimes you can feel you're cared, and at the moment you feel all worth it. So I wonder, after you work long days, so who is the most likely to tell you to stop working and take a break? What's a sweet moment what you want to share?
I ain't got no sweet moments. I just have, hey, you've been working all day or you've been in meetings all day. That's when you have to look at your calendar like, okay, what can I put off until tomorrow? What can I do tomorrow so I can just stop for the day? And it's going to become a point where I'm not going to be able to be productive because it's going to start coming every 5 minutes. So like, okay, what can I stop, add to tomorrow's schedule and take care of it tomorrow so I can actually give my child some FaceTime. So he's definitely the one.
Okay, great. How about Bajoka?
Like for me, most times it's my husband that can, like if he's around, he can just tell me that, when are you stopping? Okay, I think you should stop. My children cannot, I mean, they don't tell me to stop because I won't listen. I won't listen. But my husband can, I mean, does that a lot of times. And sometimes, since he doesn't live with us here, if they need me to do something or stop, if they call him and he calls, that can stop that can stop it. And but one of the things I've tried to do is, sometimes I have times I tell myself the truth that you need to stop this week. You're going to walk this way. You're going to close at this time, and you're going to pay attention to this. Since, like, I used to call him shock, that stops me. If he's not, since he's not always around, that I need to learn to stop, to put a stop to certain things, or I'm so I try. There are times that I try to just stop myself from doing those things. And
Yeah.
many times when I just close like that, they are surprised. That, oh, you have closed? I said, yes, I'm not talking this night. You know, it's-
So it's opposite to you. I don't listen to my husband. He always asks me to take some walk, do some exercise because he's a big fan of swimming. So he always asks me to put a work aside and do some exercise. But I still feel it's so sweet because he cares your health and reminds you all the time. But I will try to, how to say, spend more time in exercise. Yeah. So how about that, Alice?
Mm, maybe that'll probably be my daughter. Um, yeah, and then my mom, of course. Like she goes like, "Can you pity yourself and close that laptop? Can you at least think about yourself and just close that laptop?" And then one time when she would, I'll be like, "Okay, mom, let me just finish this sentence." And then, a sentence goes into a paragraph, and a
Mm-hmm.
paragraph goes into a page, a minute goes into, and then she comes out again and she's like, "Okay, can you at least do this because of me? You know, do this, So once she says that, yeah, she just gets me, and I'm like, "Okay, mom, I would, and then, but the thing about this, that it's always at the back of your mind. So even if you close that computer, it would only I don't even know when I open my laptops, that's the truth. Before you know it is open. And you probably just want to make sure you sent an email. And then from that, it spirals into something else. So it's always a conscious effort to stop. Um, in the whole family, it probably has to be my daughter because she's very playful. So she could just come in and start dancing and she starts saying something, and then that's it. And then my mom is the one who tries to be more like, you know, realistic. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, I admire you still stay close with your family. uh, yeah. So, next question. So we speak a lot about families, and I want to think about, have you think about a bit, because the people in our lives often know us differently than our colleagues, mentors do. So, and sometimes they end up teaching us some things we can take back to work. So the question is, what a lesson you've learned from a parent, child, partner, sibling, or friend that has made you better at your job? So I'll start. I want to give shout out to my elder sister actually. So when I was a kid, I was pretty sensitive, easily affected by what other people said. So she told me, you need a thicker skin. So at that time, I didn't think that was helpful, and I just think she didn't understand me. She didn't know my feelings. But after these years, I think she was so right. And it took me years to realize that resilience is an important skill in both life and science. So, yeah, that's me. And how about you? Please feel free to jump in.
Yeah, for me, I learned okay, number one, I learned something from, I would say, my husband. I learned to be very positive. Like even when things are really not as good as I really want, there's just a way over time I learned to just see the bright side. So if I'm going to answer a question, I'd like to talk about the best part. It will tell me you can say it's half cup. When you have a half cup, you can say it is half full, or you can say it's half empty. It's the same, but it's actually the perspective. So, and that has helped me sometimes when I'm working under pressure, or if my expectations are not met. I try to approach it in a more positive manner and not focus on the parts that is not so good. I'll focus more on what I can do, not what I didn't achieve. I like to focus more on what can be done. How can it be fixed? Not what maybe I spoiled, or the mistakes I made, or what others did not do. I'll think about what I can do. And then one other person that has also helped me in very recent time, that have really changed a lot of perspective. I mean, that changed a lot about my work and how my children sees it is mentor, Dr. Dedino. She said something one day. I went out with her on a trip. It was we traveled for a particular engagement, research engagement. And she asked me, so, oh, this is place a good place. You can even go there for vacation. And I said, no. She just, and the next, in the evening, she asked me, have you bought something for your kids? I didn't say anything. The next day, she asked me, have you checked anything around for your kids? You get a good. I think she just picked it that I was not going to say anything, and because I was not even, she now said, no, that you travel a lot, that it is very burdensome on the children. That, but if they know that anytime you travel, it means something, that they will be happy when you're going for your conferences, you're going for any business travel, that it will be, it's more like, okay, we are going, oh, okay, get this for me. Oh, get this for me. And that would not, it's not be so hard. It's hard enough that we leave them to travel for a couple of days, and then it made a lot of sense to me. I started practicing that. And since I started practicing that, their attitude changed about my incessant travels and when I needed to go out. And they really look forward to when next I'm going somewhere, because they already have a list of things I want to bring from wherever I'm coming from. And it really changed their perspective. There's this thing about some children feels that they are left out, or that they are not, you're always traveling, you're always out of the house. But now the whole perspective changed when I learned that, to really think about them and see how to make it easy for them, since they have a working mom, and it's really helped.
I think my biggest lesson actually came from my mom. My mom was been a professional my entire life, and the one thing and she did a lot of travel. She did a lot of travel, and one of the things that I really took from her was trust your partner. Like my dad knew how to do everything. He knew how to do our hair. He knew how to, my dad could sew. Like he could do all kinds of stuff. He was really like a Renaissance type of dude. And my mom had no issue hopping in that car, hopping on the plane, going, to, wherever she needed to go for work. And she, my trusted that my dad, really knew how to take care of, two girls, could handle it. I'm having an issue doing that now, and I got a little boy. So, just trusting that, Tobias may not do it the way that I want it done, but he's going to be fed and he's going to be alive when I get back. So just trusting
That's
your partner.
right. Yeah. So for me, mine of course, not of is always has to be my mom. My older sister was also a very strong force, but my mom, I think we all took that from her, not because she always put things in perspective. And my mom was always going to school even when I was a child. She was always doing one program or the other, and some of her programs had to coincided with the holiday period, and she had to be in the university while we stayed at home for you call it vacation, but we call it the long hauls, right? So she had to be away, and then my dad had to be home. Of course, it wasn't perfect, like but she had to. I wouldn't say had to do what she had, but she had to do that. But one thing she constantly taught me, even because there are days I question everything. I'm like, why am I even doing all this? Why did I have to leave these kids and go to school? And then she's like, you must be open. They are kids, right? But open communication. You must tell them, mom is going to be away for so and so time. this is what mommy is going to do. This is how this would also benefit you at the end of the day. And that was what she did with us, this is how it will benefit you. And then she told me to give them money when I was leaving. Give them so when I was coming to the US, I was going to be gone because I was coming home for every vacation for the holiday. So she said, assuming it was $100 that she gave me, I had to give a child. She told me to get it into 10, like $10. And so she was like, spend this $10 every week. By the time you're done spending this $10, mommy will be back. Do you understand? And so I split the money that way. And for each child, I was like, by the time I know you really loved that candy they sold down the shop, right? Down the street. So by the time you spent this money every week, and before you know it, it's just 10 months, 10, mommy will be back. And because they'll be like, oh yeah, so they were more fascinated about that. And then you see them putting it in their pockets and they're already thinking about where to go. And then it was easier to go. And I explained what I was going to do. But so for me, my mom was witty. She's still witty. She's wise. Um, and then she tells them, she says, whenever you call them, tell them you saw this beautiful school that would suit them, make it about them, be open about the communication. And so I was always sending pictures of schools to them. Would you like this school? Would you like, and there was this buying. So they knew mom was out and was also looking out for us. Right. So for me, that was the wisdom. And now that I'm working and I'm even not very close home, she told me, whenever you go home and they go grocery shopping, don't say you don't need this, you don't need that. Let them take as much. Uju, it wouldn't hurt. Let them see what you're working for, and even when it gets to payment, let them make the payment, give them the card. And so I'll be like, yeah, this is where I earn my money. This is where my salary is. Here's my card, pay. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, your card is beautiful. Is this from Mayo? I'm like, yeah. And then they pay. And, so there is this buying. Everybody feels they're all, and so that has helped me. Open communication, telling them where I'm going, what I'm going for. And even when I was moving, I saw a beautiful house here. I showed them. I was like, do you guys want to move with me or do you want to stay back and come? I mean, and then so it's always been a decision. It's a joint shared decision. So nobody would say, Mom just upped and left. No. So for me, it's my mom. She taught me that communication, open, tell them, give them options. What would you have me do? Advise me. And they will say, Mom, I think you should go. We'll be fine. It's just 1 year. We'll be okay. And so that has helped me. For me, open communication, learning with my mom, transparency, sharing what I earn, sharing what I have, just showing them everything. So that has worked for me. And I really have my mom to thank for that.
Wow, that's a great lesson learned. And also I feel it's inspiring for everyone in the room because we always work in some multidisciplinary team. Yeah, the transparent and open communication really matters. And with that, I'd like to move on to our next question. It's about a big word. So it's balance. And how do you define balance? Is it something you achieve every day or over a longer period of time?
Give it up.
That word doesn't exist in my dictionary.
I don't know. I don't know the meaning of that word.
Yeah, something always has to give.
Yeah, I think it could not be a evenly split work and life. To me, it's more like a peaceful mind. So you feel you have attended to most important things, and you don't feel guilty for not doing something else. So yeah, and so I have given up on the idea of the balance every single day because sometimes, yeah. So how naive I was, right? And sometimes, yeah, the work needs more from me, and sometimes my family does. So want. I just want to make sure I'm not neglecting the people and the things that matters most, and I feel doing okay. So I'm more caring about the state of my mind and if it's peaceful or not. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
that's it.
think that's a good point. Like not to I don't know if balance is it, or is it like how do you um prioritize what you have to do in a day? Like is it something that, is you have to focus more on your family and it's a couple of things that you can do for, work or your research, or is it like a research heavy day and you can sprinkle in the things that your kids want you to do or your partner wants you to do. End of the day, I think it's more of how you prioritize your day, and most people know I get up really early because it's like uh working out is very important to me, and it's one of the things that I do to um help me, I guess, continue to feel like myself. If I'm not feeling like myself, like it is 10 out of 10 times it's so I didn't work out. Like it's my mood is immediate. Like you can definitely tell when I have and when I have not. And so once I get up early and I can take care of that, then it's easier for me to prioritize, how my day is going to go. Is it balanced? It is not balanced by no stretch, but it definitely has a pecking order. So
About Dr. Bajoka?
Yeah, for me, balance is what I wouldn't say I'm there yet. I'm still learning to be able to balance work, family, and some other commitments. I will put that other commitment like friends and so many other things. But I'm still learning it. I wouldn't say I get that. So I try as much as possible to be as conscious as I can be, and also, because of the kind of work I do, I also learned to pen some things down, including what I need to do for my friends, for my children. Sometimes I may need to just write them down so that I don't forget, and the things I want to do from certain studies, especially if I'm juggling between one or two at the same time. But it's not, I would say I'm not there yet, but for me, it's not something it's not a daily thing. I just kind of look at the week in retrospect and check where things augment for the next week or maybe period. For me, balance is not daily, definitely not daily. There are days that all I wanted to do is walk. Then over time, but I try to make sure that I listen to what my children are saying, and also find out what's up with them. But for me, I think I would say period. That's what I do. And I'm still learning to really maintain that balance.
Dr. Richie, do you have anything to add?
There is no balance.
Okay.
It is not a word in my dictionary.
skip
Matter of
me, skip me.
It is so bad. I don't even know if I have a hobby. Like when I was teaching in the university, you have to on the first days you have to say hobbies, things I used to do. I literally have to ask, what could I, identify as a hobby? Because I don't know. It's like this. There is no balance besides the moment that I want to sleep or go to church. I've been saying I'll go down to the beach or the beach here. I have only been there once since I moved here, so you can imagine. But I like to work out. Matter of fact, I like group fitness trips, and I've been trying to be on Dr. Borna. She's refused to take me as a project. Like, we need to figure out a schedule. Call me when because it really helps me get a balance. But I can't. She goes to the gym at 3 a.m. I don't know how she does that, but she was supposed to take me on as her project, and then I don't know what happened. So I try to work out. I love to work out. I love fitness events, group, fitness activities, because there are people and all that. I love spin classes and all that. So I try to still go to the gym at least 3 times a week. Yes. So
Mhm.
Dr. Barna, I'm calling you out.
No, you got to call Chris because Chris, I don't know if
To figure out to do more. I want to work out. No, Chris, yeah, Chris is good. Yeah, that's it.
yeah,
Yeah. Last week I think I missed her class by a few minutes. So by the time I got there, she was already in. She
yeah.
was already having her class. So yeah.
We have an in-house professional in
No,
the lab.
you owe me a plan. You told me you were going to
I do owe you a plan, but
plan.
until
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get it. I've been trying to get the Chris class. So yes.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Yeah, the workout is a
It's helpful.
yeah, it's worthwhile. And
Hmm.
I see a question from our audience. It's also about balancing. So, what keeps you relaxed for work, or you can have in the background and still work? Any tips?
Yeah, I do. I think I do. Dr. Aliche knows I watch TV, movies,
Oh, I
and
can't do that.
I particularly love Korean movies. But the interesting thing is, even if I'm watching the movie, I'm actually like, hey, mommy, what is it? What is the title? I say, I don't know. I'm like, what? I said, oh. He said, so what are they doing? He said, oh, no, sometimes I might just be there, just working on my lap. I'm like, hey, mom, what? I said, I don't know. He said, but you're here. I said, yeah, I'm just watching it. So that's most of the things, especially I do that on weekends a lot. So because most of my weekends, if what I'm doing does not require absolute concentration. Yeah, so there can be a movie or sometimes news. No, the news, no, but not, I don't concentrate. And my children would always laugh because even if I tell you I'm watching a movie, I may not know the title and I may not know
Do you
what
know the plot? Do you know the plot, Dr. Bullock?
lectures, but it really does help me and gives me that sense that I'm not too busy. So sometimes they laugh about that, or maybe I just said something. I thought we were watching the movie. I said, hey, really, what did they do? I said, but you're just here. Oh, sorry, I was doing something. But that's really majorly what I do on the background, especially on weekends.
Absolute silence. Like I have so much noise coming out of the body of that little 5-year-old that anytime that I can just have silence, I take it. I take complete advantage of it. All you hear is just my keyboard moving. Like you won't hear music, you won't hear the TV. You just hear me in this keyboard, me breathing in the keyboard. That's it. Nothing.
Um, for me, it varies, and it all depends on how much work I'm doing and how much concentration I would require. But at some time, most times, I like to play this guy. He's called Dapitik. He's an instrumentalist, so I play that very, very soft and very low in the background, so I can barely hear it. But the good thing is that he has Bible verses that he puts out. And so
Mhm.
those are like motivational words that he churns out on the screen. And so I have that by the side, like on my laptop while I'm on my phone while I'm working, and then I can glance through it. And those words are usually reaffirming or helpful, and all that. But again, some days I also at times would, like I said, it all depends on the level of concentration. If some days I would like to be in a place that has a little noise, but noisy background, then I would go to Mayo and I'll sit outside. Because I see people passing and I see so something is always interesting that I have to look at. But some days where I really have to really be by myself and study, I would be in the library. I would lock myself in the room. So it all varies and depends, and depends on the level or how I feel on that particular day. But that bitiki, that's the instrumental, is usually my go-to because it's very soft, it's very calm, serene. It just helps, you know. Yeah.
Okay, that's all great tips. And next, we want to touch something tougher. So, as early stage investigators, we facing challenge for many things. For example, maybe we have some hard time turning opportunities down. So the question is, have you ever felt pressure to say yes to every opportunity? How did you learn to set boundaries? Go ahead.
What do you mean by opportunity? Is it work opportunity or is it?
Yeah, that mostly work. So I can jump in. For me, I don't think I mastered it completely yet. So I still get excited about new opportunities, and but increasingly I've got a better at pausing before saying yes and asking myself whether I actually have the time and energy to do it well, because I really care about the quality of the deliverables and the outcomes. So I and especially I think whenever I say yes, it always comes with some hidden cost in other aspects of the work. Um, so everything shaped what I'm thinking now is I have more thoughtful thinking before I agree to some commitments, just to ensure the quality of the work, and also it aligns with what's my priority and my responsibilities and long-term goals. So that's what I have learned so far. How about you?
Yeah, for me, there I had to learn that a hard way, in a very, very hard way, to learn to say no and to not respond immediately. So sometimes when there are opportunities like that, I try to just in my brain, for example, it could happen in a meeting, and I can just rack through my brain and look at, is that what I want to do? Can I take this on? Do I have time left for this? But initially it wasn't like that. There were time that I took on so much than I could manage, and I was dropping the ball. So many things, it became untidy. So that was not good. And as soon as I had opportunity to take stuff from my plate, I did. And but now I'm still learning to say no and really weigh those options and the opportunities I have. If so many times I don't talk immediately, I don't jump at in quotes opportunity immediately, except it is directed to me. And but I'm still learning on how to say no and set some boundaries about the things I want to do, the things that aligns with my priorities. I'm still learning, but I'm really learning fast, because even if I take it on, if I'm not able to do it well enough, it's still not good. So it's not worth it.
How about Dr. Donna? I'll let you.
Um, Ooh,
You go first, Dr. Brunner.
of course we feel pressure to say yes to every opportunity. Yes. Um, I think you want to show as much value as you, especially when you're an early stage investigator, you want to show as much value as you can. And a lot of that value is shown you hopping on, filling in gaps of somebody's, whether it's a paper or it's a research project, like lending whatever it is your expertise happens to be to, something to be able to show that, hey, I am a valuable asset in this research field. So, yes, you have pressure to say yes to every opportunity. I think working as busy as Dr. Denna has us, I think watching her just be like, no, I can't do that. No, this day is cut off. No, you can't contact me on, these 2 days because, I've carved out my time. Like, so, watching her set those boundaries and still seeing how overproductive she is lets you, like, okay, yeah, like those are things that those are habits that you definitely want to emulate when it comes to how you try to structure your day, how you try to structure your week. So definitely watching somebody who is who maintains a high level of productivity, still maintain a high level of productivity by she has the opportunity to do that by setting those boundaries. So those are things that you take on. So yeah, I was really able to get a good bird's eye view of from watching her doing that, and now something that I've also implemented in my schedule. So yeah.
Dr. Litty?
Let me build on what Dr. Bonner said, especially with Dr. Ted. I remember wanting to explore some another cancer domain, and I think I spoke to her about it, and she was like, no, don't do that, stick to your craft, and hone it, so you're known for this. And because we are early in this stage for me, um there is that susceptibility to say yes, not necessarily because I want to prove to people that I can do work, but because I feel that I have to also build my resume or my CV to a reasonable level. So I also want to believe that it would come, the power to say no and yes, right, will come with different phases in life. When you eventually get to a reasonable level, you will be able to um, say, oh, no, I can't do this. I would focus on this. Because we are still, budding for me. And
Mm-hmm.
which is why it's very helpful that we have someone we can watch and see how she says no and says yes and defines priorities and boundaries. So, but I think it would come natural, not naturally. Yeah, it would come when it will come.
It comes. Yeah.
It would come when, yes, yeah, because right now we're all still trying to build, but yeah, and it's also good. It's helpful that we have someone who we can see, or she's able to say yes, and she's able to define things,
Mm-hmm.
and so we are learning.
and say no. And
And
say
say no,
no.
so we are learning. Because she told me, no, you can't do that. It's not you. Don't do that. Stick to what you do. And I was like,
she
oh, okay.
she would quickly say no.
She said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. She says, don't do that. And then she repeated it again, don't do that. Stick to your craft. So for me, I know it would come. Like, yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. And yeah, we have talked a lot about our the pro tips for balancing our mindsets and navigating the work and families or other responsibilities. And next, I'd like to have us to share some practical advice for our audience. So the question is, what's one productivity habit that has made the biggest difference in your career? So for me, I'm a big fan of tools that help me stay organized and reduce the repetitive work. So, for example, I will rely heavily on the reminders and task management tools to keep track of the priorities as well as its deadlines. So, I'm not trying to remember everything myself, especially in the time the AI is advancing. So I'm increasingly to use the AI tool to write and to troubleshoot the R codes. So it really saved a lot of time. And more recently, I've been using the Cloudy AI to stay following with the literature. So it can automatically deliver the summaries of the series and recently published studies in my research area. So it's how to say lifesavers. So I don't need to spend time to search, download, and then how to say organize them in some place. Just deliver automatically in a specific chat every day, and leave me more time to think about the science. So yeah, that's all the tips I want to share. How about you?
Yeah, I think for me, just like you, I have learned to come to terms with using AI a lot, especially in summarizing notes and also in presentations. And because, this year have been very, very, I got opportunity to work with larger teams. Larger teams that are not in my normal work schedule before. And so juggling between presentations today, presentation with that team, and working with different teams, a lot of minutes of meetings, a lot of summary, providing summaries to team members. It's really helped. And AI is my PA, personal assistant. Personal assistant. And I also like to write a lot of things down. I have
Yes.
my journal where I put, like, for the week, I can list out all the things I want to do for the week. So, and I try to cross them out. Like somebody told me a long time ago that the sharpest pen, sorry, the dullest pen many times is smarter than the sharpest brain. So we cannot think we can remember everything. So I use my Outlook calendars a lot, and I use things that I don't put on Outlook calendars. I make sure I create diaries where I have my to-do list and I cross them out. If I didn't finish them this week, that means I take them over to next week. So, and that's how I run my week. I have to-do lists ready on Monday. I continue to cross. Sometimes I'm lucky, have finished early, I can take on more, but sometimes I'm not that lucky. I had to move them to the next week, especially if the time I anticipated, if I had to do much more. Spend more time than anticipated. So it has really helped. But to be honest, using tools, AI tools, helped a lot.
Yeah, totally. How about Donna, Alicia?
Um, I think my productivity habit is probably not even popular anymore. It's like the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Like I I I like to write everything down. Like I used to, like I'm much better about it now, but I was one that still used paper articles. I want to highlight and jot stuff down on the side, because if I write it down, I'm like committed to memory. So I got whiteboards and lists taped everywhere, big, post-it notes all over this office, because I write something down, it's committed to memory. I can go back and I can see it. Like I can see my to do for this weekend. I got, 5 things I need to take care of, or, what potential papers I'm working on. All that stuff is like right so I can see. But of course, with the advent of technology, it's not, very popular to waste all the trees printing, articles off and stuff. So I've lost a lot of the habits that I felt, made me more productive, because I felt like I knew the literature more when I could highlight it myself and, jot a note on the side. Or if I'm, working on a paper, I can say, hey, I need to add this to the intro, or I can add this to the discussion. But so my productivity habit is one that's definitely not, popular and wide use anymore. And that is, actually writing on paper. So
Dr. Lechi, you have a few
It's a
minutes.
combination of everything everyone does. So I have a calendar that's an e-calendar that's on my laptop. Like it's I usually would use them as my call them screensaver, right? Yeah, so it populates on my laptop as you see it. It's there already.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have reminders like that remind me. And when I was writing my comprehensive exam, um, my advisor taught me a skill like having to switch things every 1 or 2 hours. And so while I was writing the exam, I had to time myself. So once it was 2 hours, I would quickly switch because for what she was telling me, as once it gets to 2 hours, and for some people, there's really nothing you can do again on that topic. You probably might have, exhausted your thoughts at that. So you need to give your brain a fresh look and then you switch to something else. So, and then you can always come back to that. So I try to do that, variate my time slot. So I give my mornings or the first hours of the day to those very heavy tasks. But I try to alternate. So that way I give and I've noticed that by the time I come back to that work, um, I'm able to also think clearly. And then there was something she also taught me. She called it Pomodoro. So to get up,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 1 hour. And that was my advisor in the university to get up every 1 hour or something. And then come back, write for 30 minutes of an hour, and then come back. Even though I'm not very faithful to that, but it's something I try to do. And I love to write. I have books, like I have my book here. I always, because it helps
Mm-hmm.
for me to memory when you put things down. I have dashboards, I have calendars, and then I write it in there and all that. So I'm using everything, and somehow they all work. Somehow. And there are days
Somehow.
your brain just refuses to work with any of those things. And so I've learned to respect my body, my brain when it says no, so yeah, yes.
Yeah, all great tips. And with that, we'll wrap things up. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your perspectives and experience on balancing career, family, and purpose. It's always an important and a tough topic. But we have learned a lot, maybe new ideas, new tips. And thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.